Hello, my name is Shahmi and this is my friend Vika and Bella. Today we are going to present about intellectual capital. Basically, what is intellectual capital? Intellectual capital is a package of useful knowledge which includes processes, technologies, patents, and employee skill in the organization. It as well includes the information about customers, suppliers, and stakeholders. It is the combined intangible asset which lead the company to function. All in all, it is the knowledge and value owned by the organization which result to the competitive superiority in the market. Basically, intellectual capital has three elements. These elements includes human capital, structural capital, and also the relational capital. The first elements in the intellectual capital would be the human capital. Basically, human capital is a value owned by the workforce that cannot be owned by the organization. It includes knowledge, skills, and ability of the employee in the organization. The next element for the intellectual capital would be the structural capital. It is the supportive infrastructure that supports and allows human capital to function. It includes buildings, hardware, software, process, patent, and also trademarks. The last element for the intellectual capital would be the relational capital. As the name goes, relational capital is the relationship or network built between the organization and the stakeholder. It encompasses of customers' loyalty, business collaborations, customers, brands, company names, and others. Next, we will apply the theory that we have learned about the intellectual capital into a real-life organization. And for this study, we have chosen RISDA as our organization. So basically, what is RISDA and what RISDA do? RISDA stands for Rubber Industry Smallholders Development Authority. It is an agency under the federal government, and to be more specific, it is under the Ministry of Rural and Regional Development. RISDA is also one of the statutory body which is dedicated in guiding the smallholders toward progress, economic, and social development. Under the Ordinance of the Rubber Industry 1952, there are three core functions of RISDA. The first one is to administer of the rubber industry. The next one is to successfully manage and operate plans approved by provision. And the lastly is to plan and implement the reform, research in smallholder sector. Alright guys, now let's have a look on intellectual capital in RISDA. The first one that we will talk about is on the human capital. As we discussed earlier, human capital is a value owned by the workforce that cannot be owned by the organization. It also included knowledge, skills, and ability of the employee in the organization. In the context of RISDA, they really focus on the management of human capital. This can be seen in their motto and mission, in which it was stated that they are striving in providing with competent and efficient human resources, so that they can provide with better services to the customers and stakeholders. Currently, RISDA is experiencing the shortage of manpower, and what they do is by optimizing their current employee to fill in the job based on the workloads and job needs. Like any other organization, RISDA also emphasizes on the development of every employee by giving them training, so that they can develop their intellectual asset to the fullest. Every employees are required to undergo training that were provided by RISDA. This shows how much support and assistance that RISDA has given to their employees in their career development and job performance. Aside from upside training, RISDA also emphasizes on the learning and knowledge sharing inside the organization by promoting a program called Learning Day. These programs promote knowledge sharing among the workers. The program will have 10 sessions every year, and the participants will be chosen among the employees that needs the training. Okay, now let's move to structural capital. In RISDA, structural capital consists of a wide range of patterns, concepts, models, computer, and administrative systems. It also involves organizational process and routine, structure that support employee, culture systems, culture and database. There are four elements of structural capital, which are system, structure, strategy, and culture. The first one will be the system. RISDA is providing computer hardware and software that meets the needs of their users and also the application of system development, integration of information, updates, and reliable. For example, in unit tanam semula, RISDA is using database systems in ordering their rubber plant from their supplier. The second element of the structural capital would be the structure of the organization itself. RISDA starts with the top management and followed by the departments in the organization. Currently, RISDA has branches at all states in Malaysia. For the element of strategies, every department has their own motto, mission and vision to be achieved, and the strategy were developed through the goal to achieve the main goals. The last element in the structural capital is culture. RISDA really embedded learning and quality culture in their organization. This can be seen through the training development and learning day in the organization. They also encourage knowledge sharing among the employees. Finally, the last element of the intellectual capital that we are going to talk today is the relational capital. As we discussed earlier, relational capital is the relationship between organization and customers, suppliers as well as partners. For RISDA, the organization needs to portray a very good image and reputation, which will then lead to the customer's loyalty, customer satisfaction, commercial power, and great negotiating capacity. Having a good relational capital results to a good position held by the customer, supplier, and partner toward the organization. In terms of relationship between RISDA and the customers, field officer will be directly deals with the rubber planters. The office station or pejabat RISDA station is the structure created to deal closely with the customers. As for the suppliers, RISDA has numbers of subsidiary companies. Whenever there is a project given by the federal government, RISDA will open the tender for other agencies to collaborate with them. The main portal of RISDA is the platform for tender bid and other contracts offered. In a nutshell, all three components, which are human capital, structural capital, and relational capital, complete the intellectual capital of an organization. It is not merely files and database which contain information and data, but it comprises all beneficial knowledge for the organization. The intellectual owned by organization is a source of contrasting competitive advantage and make the organization differ from other organizations. Okay guys, that is all from us. I hope from the explanation you guys already have the idea of what is intellectual capital all about and how it can be used as strategic tools in an organization. Thank you and have a nice day.